for thousands of years. Our ancient texts have whispered the same cryptic chronicle. Stories of gods, entities who descended from the heavens. But read between the lines, every time these beings touched down, the scribes recorded the exact same phenomena. Deafening roars, thunder, fire, and smoke. To our ancestors, this was the language of magic and absolute power. A power that could only belong to the stars. But strip away the mythology. And who were they? Did our ancestors construct these pantheons out of pure imagination? Or were they desperately trying to record eyewitness events, using the only primitive vocabulary they possessed? Imagine a world where flesh and blood extraterrestrials were mistaken for divine creators. Millions of people across the globe now harbor a profound belief. We have never been alone. What if the gods of antiquity were actually visitors from another world, possessing a mind-bending superior intelligence? Welcome to Pieces of History. Part 1. Gods or aliens? In the cosmic tapestry of Hinduism, Lord Shiva reigns supreme. He is the ultimate paradox, the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. Ancient lore speaks of his third eye, carved into the center of his forehead, a gateway capable of piercing through time and space. Strangely, Vedic texts describe this focal point not just as anatomy, but as the literal epicenter of the universe, the cradle of creation. This enigmatic third eye isn't exclusive to India. It haunts the murals, reliefs, and sculptures of disconnected civilizations worldwide. When Sadhguru, the renowned mystic, was asked a radical question: are the gods actually aliens? His answer opened a terrifying door. He noted a chilling detail about Shiva. Unlike other deities, there is absolutely no record of Shiva's childhood. No birth, no parents, no lineage. His story simply begins as a fully matured youth. This fuels a haunting theory. What if Shiva descended to Earth possessing a cosmic intelligence, tasked with an agenda? He initiated 7 sages, the Saptarishis, and scattered them across the globe to seed this advanced knowledge into humanity. No birth, no death, no biological trace. He was said to possess power and intelligence beyond human comprehension. When we look at the uncanny parallels between gods of different continents, a shattering question arises. Was there only ever one group of visitors, merely renamed by the cultures they left behind? For over a century and a half, the province of Çanakkale in Turkey has guarded one of archaeology's greatest secrets: the legendary city of Troy. In 1868, an amateur archaeologist named Heinrich Schliemann set out on an obsessive quest. He was hunting for the battleground immortalized in Homer's 8th century BCE epic, the Iliad. A brutal war, sparked entirely by the jealousy and wrath of the gods. Academia laughed at him. They insisted Troy was a fairy tale, but Schliemann refused to doubt the ancients. Armed with nothing but a copy of the Iliad, he dug deep into the dirt. And what he found shocked the scientific world to its core. Troy was real, buried right beneath their feet. But this discovery forced a dangerous realization. If Homer's Troy was real, what else in ancient mythology was based on historical fact? Did the terrifying weapons of the gods actually exist? And if so, where did they come from? Every year, millions flock to the ruins of Greece, the Acropolis, Delphi, the Parthenon. Structures built to venerate beings who allegedly ruled this planet millennia ago. Look closely at these global monuments, they all share a singular narrative. Gods descending from and ascending to the sky. They moved at speeds that defy the laws of physics, fast as a flash of light. If these myths were just primitive bedtime stories to explain the weather, Why do we find identical, highly specific accounts across oceans and isolated cultures? Is it all just a massive coincidence? At the dawn of human civilization, around 3800 BCE, the ancient Sumerian carved stone reliefs depicting beings they believe came from the heavens. They called them the Anunnaki, literally translated, those who from heaven to earth came. In 1968, author Erich von Däniken shook the world by arguing that even our most sacred ancient scriptures are littered with accounts of extraterrestrial contact. Our ancestors didn't see them as magical spirits. They saw them as physical, supreme beings communicating with mankind. Thousands of years ago, while humanity was still in its infancy, cosmic travelers touched down on this blue planet. To a primitive mind, advanced technology is indistinguishable from divinity. Take Mount Olympus, the legendary fortress of the Greek pantheon, where Zeus sat upon his throne, steering the fate of mortals. Some interpretation of ancient texts describe Olympus as more than a mere mountain. They describe a magnificent metallic palace hovering above the mountain, gleaming with gold, silver, and blinding crystalline light. Furthermore, the texts state that when Olympus was active, the entire mountain violently convulsed, as if the peak itself was lifting off. If Olympus was a colossal mothership, then who was Zeus? In the Iliad, Zeus wields a weapon of absolute terror, the thunderbolt, a weapon described as capable of destroying entire cities. His brother Poseidon carried the trident, a tool that could trigger cataclysmic tsunamis. The Romans recorded the exact same beings, renaming them Jupiter and Neptune. If these accounts are historical anomalies, can we find their physical footprints elsewhere on Earth? On the rugged coast of Brittany, France, lies one of the most baffling prehistoric enigmas on Earth, the Karnak stones. Over 3,000 massive megaliths stretching in lines for over 3 kilometers, erected between 4500 and 2500 BCE, the twilight of the Stone Age. Mainstream archaeology still debates its purpose. We are looking at thousands of granite blocks weighing 50, 100, up to 350 tons. Why did prehistoric humans quarry, transport, and align these monsters? The layout appears difficult to interpret from the ground. The stones form a complex geometric pattern that can only be appreciated from high above. Was this a massive signaling system built to communicate with the sky? The ancient Greek poet Pindar once wrote of a mysterious hyperboreal land far to the north, where the sun never set. Legend says that every 20 years, Apollo, the god of light, returned to this land in a blazing flying chariot. Apollo told the Greeks, "I will visit those who live far away, where the north wind blows, and I will grant them knowledge." While standard historians guess these stones are just ancient graves, ancient astronaut theorists see something far more calculated. Recently, researchers mapped the entire Brittany region using aerial photography. When they pieced the grid together, something remarkable emerged. The grid forms a flawless geometric layout. The length is exactly 2,860 meters. The width is precisely half, 1,430 meters. The angle appears strikingly precise. Some researchers argue it forms a Pythagorean triangle, built in the Stone Age, more than 2,000 years before Pythagoras was even born. How is this level of mathematical precision possible? Some claim the Karnak stones can be identified from high-altitude imagery. Today, some visitors describe feeling a strange sensation around the stones. Did the ancients understand geomagnetic energy? Did they use it to levitate these stones? Or did someone show them how? If Apollo was an ancient voyager, the Karnak grid might just be a homing beacon, a cosmic highway guiding the gods back to their northern sanctuary. These anomalies echo through ancient Hebrew texts as well. Enoch, the seventh patriarch of the Old Testament, was said to be taken by God in a chariot of fire, ascending directly into the heavens. The structural parallels to Apollo's flying chariot are certainly intriguing. Halfway across the world, India's epic, the Mahabharata, details the arrival of gods piloting advanced flying machines called vimanas. The Kailash temple is often cited as one of the most intriguing examples supporting this theory. Archaeologists admit this entire 100-meter tall complex was carved out of a solid mountain slope, from the top down. Over 400,000 tons of rock were excavated. Some estimates suggest it may have been completed in as little as 18 years. But here's the real mystery. Surprisingly, little excavated debris remains near the temple today. No rubble, no waste. It's as if the stone was disintegrated instantly by an unknown energy weapon. Today, Kailash holds over 100 subterranean caves. Only 34 are open to the public. The rest are strictly sealed by the government. What might still remain undiscovered down there? Evidence of a history we aren't allowed to know. This brings us to the dark side of mythology. Global legends consistently claim that these gods interbred with human women, creating a radical new species. The demigods. Children said to possess extraordinary abilities and traits. In ancient Sanskrit texts, Queen Kunti is described as mating with a celestial entity known as the sun god. According to the epic, the result of this union was Karna, a legendary hero with superhuman traits. Ancient texts call them star children, women suddenly finding themselves pregnant after an encounter with divine light. Does this sound impossible? Think about modern artificial insemination. Thousands of years ago, women with no physical partners were suddenly carrying children. But genetic engineering has a learning curve. Some ancient stories describe what could be interpreted as genetic failures, bizarre, mutated beasts, and monstrous hybrids. Could the myths of half-human, half-beast giants be the literal historical record of gene splicing experiments gone wrong? Around 3000 BCE, during the Stone Age, humanity appeared to undergo a remarkably rapid transformation. Civilization, agriculture, and complex engineering exploded overnight. The texts say humans bowed to the gods in exchange for this supreme knowledge. At this exact cosmic moment, monumental pyramids appeared in widely separated regions of the world. Who gave that global order? If extraterrestrials accelerated our evolution back then, have they stepped in at other turning points in our history? And more importantly, are they still watching us today? It would make perfect sense. Why wouldn't an architect keep an eye on their ultimate creation? Which leaves us with one final, haunting realization. Isn't it strange to believe that these cosmic entities happen to look and think just like us? Perhaps the resemblance is not a coincidence after all. What if they don't look like us? What if we look like them? And if the gods of antiquity were real visitors, then the greatest mystery isn't where they came from, it's where they went. Because in part 2, we'll explore the evidence suggesting they may never have left.